Welcome to the Office Latte podcast, where we go beyond the boardroom to explore new conversations on life and career. I'm Erin Kennedy, CEO of Professional Resume Services, and wife, mother, sister, daughter, aunt, and friend. Now, let's dive in. Hello, Summer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Erin?
Good. I almost called you Summer Varner, but that's not your name
Go by my
anymore.
full name.
Huh?
Yes, Summer Varner Little. I don't really know. I haven't decided professionally how I'm gonna hyphen it. Probably just hyphen for a year, and then
Summer Varner dash Little. Summer Varner got married.
yes.
Oh, show us the ring. Put it close. Let me see. And your nails are total fire.
And how long have you been married, Erin?
I have been married 28 years.
And your wedding anniversary's decently close, about 2 weeks apart from mine.
Yes.
And I think that will always be fun. I did look at your day because your day was available as a Saturday this year, and I was like,
it was a Saturday. I know. That's what I was telling him. I said, "Do you realize it's actually on a Saturday?" Because I don't know. I must have missed the other Saturdays, but yeah, been together 31. Same
31
person.
years.
Same person. Oh, I'm kidding.
You say it with so much
enthusiasm. Huh?
I said you say it with so much enthusiasm.
No, I'm just teasing. No, I mean, you know what? We get along and we have fun, so it works. We have a good time.
Wow.
We still like each other. So yeah.
Amazing. Lovely.
I know. And I wish that for you guys. And we've talked about this, so we're just lightly touching on your nuptials. We're not really diving into it.
Thank you.
So we got married. I'm just going to say.
You're like, I'll be really chill about it.
I'm going to be super quiet, but I'm going to scream it into this microphone.
An insert of a big banner fireworks coming out.
No, you should. Do some sound effect or something.
Okay.
I know. I was trying to tap around it and talk about me putting up Christmas decorations super early, but then I thought, no, we are.
Yeah. Some other little things.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah. So that's been our big excitement.
It has been. It's been fun.
Married. Huh?
I said it's been fun. It's been busy. It's been nice, but it's exciting. What a change!
I love it. Do you feel different? Do you feel different as a missus?
I actually don't think about the missus part a lot, or I haven't deeply, but I mean, I think getting married, I feel you change. It's like, whoa, okay, this is real,
there's
a
differentness. Yeah,
there is a differentness, just slightly.
Like commitment and a bond, and
I think for some people, depending on their lifestyle, there's a lot of changes, and then it feels like a big thing. Right, but when you're very integrated into your lives, I think it's the commitment part that's the most integrated, where you're like, wow. Yeah.
And your dress, oh my gosh, I loved it. Okay,
thank you,
listeners. It wasn't like what you would typically think of, I guess, as a wedding dress.
Oh,
I mean, it does.
Yeah,
but it does. But I just loved it. It was so fun. It was so fun. Yeah, it was just, I loved it. Loved it.
Thank you. Anyways. Yeah, I really loved my dress. It was simple yet me, yet
totally
what I wanted. But the only thing I was worried about was did it match my venue? I wasn't having a beach wedding, but my wedding was kind of on a cliffside next to an ocean, next to the ocean.
She got married on a cliffside.
It was
the ocean.
A small elopement off a cliffside, essentially. But I was happy with it. It was so comfortable and
stunning.
It just felt
stunning.
So
the one picture of you guys and you're looking down, he's holding your hand, and you're walking. Oh, you need to frame that and give that one to me.
With my short dress? Are you picturing my short dress? Oh, I was picturing the long dress. I had a short dress I changed into later in the night.
Well, what did you send me? What? Did I see the long dress?
I think you did.
Okay, well, anyways, after this, you're going to send me those because
I was going to say, should I send it to you right now and have a live reaction?
No, because we don't have that much time.
Yes. No, I cannot wait.
Well, yeah, you can send me that, and then in the next podcast, we can review and talk.
Yeah, we can do an unveiling.
Yeah, we can do an unveiling. Okay. So my next guest is my very, very dear friend. Her name is Gina Riley. And So Gina, so anyways, well, we met on LinkedIn, and then we met at conferences, the NRWA, National Resume Writers Association. We love you. Anyways, we met in person there. So she's my conference buddy. Anyways, Gina spent her career on both sides. I'll just read her bio. Of the hiring process, giving her a unique perspective on what it takes to secure competitive leadership roles. As an executive search consultant who led searches, trained corporate teams on executive talent selection, and witnessed firsthand what makes candidates stand out or miss the mark. So today she guides leaders through career transitions and clarity and confidence using her proven career velocity framework, which we're going to dive into. So this is like a roadmap that helps you refine your story, market yourself, and land the roles that you're after. She's got a master's degree in whole systems design and certifications in behavioral interviewing. I know. UMAP and Speaker Skills Academy. She's a great speaker. I've seen her. She's just like, she's so good, and she's got such presence, and she's interesting. She's so good. I could never do that, so I'm so impressed by her. But anyways, but the best thing is she wrote a book. I know this is backwards.
Oh, yes.
It says
no, it's not. It's backwards to me. It says qualified isn't enough.
Oh, on mine it is. Okay, good. It says qualified isn't enough. Develop your story, land the interview, and win the job. And this is a pretty hardy book. It's not like a 10-page book. It's like, yeah. So
she wrote a book.
She wrote a book. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that and executive presence and how, that's important in roles, and just really job search today.
Yeah.
It's a whole different, it's a whole different ballpark.
I mean, it changes every few years. So I think it's important to always kind of come back to it. And as, experts in your field, I think it makes sense that you guys are constantly like reevaluating the industry and
you have to
giving out fresh advice because it's needed.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, so we will dive into her discussion now. And this has been fun. So thanks for letting me sneak in your wedding news. She was like, we're not talking about that. And I was like, okay, I'm crossing my fingers behind my back. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. We won't talk about that.
5 seconds later. 5 seconds later with a mini cannon, or one of those confetti things.
Yeah, now I got to go through all my pictures and look at your dresses.
Yeah, look at what I sent you. Oh, we have
I see. Oh yeah, wait, maybe there's the one.
That's the long. They do look similar though.
They do look similar.
That's the long one, and then the short one is like a thicker. Like those straps were added on. Okay, we gotta start. We
gotta go. I can't wait to talk to Gina. Okay. All right. See ya.
All right, bye.
Hello, Gina.
Hello, Erin.
I am so glad you agreed to come on and talk with me today, my friend.
I've been dying to do it. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I was saying before the show to Summer how I said we met on LinkedIn, but then we bonded at the conferences. I said, thanks to NRWA. Mm-hmm. It is. Conferences are great. I mean, really, the people that you talk to online, you get close to, but once you meet them in person and you sit with them at a table or you have a drink with them or you share a meal or eat with them, it's just a game changer. It really is.
Or a couple of drinks.
Or a couple of drinks. Yeah. Yeah, or a few drinks. Right. But yeah, I thank you for agreeing to come on my show.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I've got questions for you because and we're going to talk about the big exciting thing that happened to you, a couple months ago, or that you made happen. But we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So you specialize in a lot of things, and you work with executives, and because I kind of preface this before the show as well. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk about career strategy and practice. But before we do that, tell me how you got into this. Give me the little bio, were you always in this? And, how did you get into consulting, and lay it on me?
Okay. I'm going to start with one little kernel of the beginning because it's part of my career thread, part of my story. And part of my story is I was in high school, 16, 17 years old, and I was a part of some leadership development programs where some professional motivational speakers had come through, and I became a part of what the content that they were delivering and became a trainer. And what it did was elevate my communication skills and my ability to connect with people. And so my thread starts from mid-high school all the way through to today, where I got an organizational communication degree. My master's is in whole systems design. I have a certain way of thinking about people and systems in a holistic manner. And I worked at Intel in corporate for 10 years in HR. I was a recruiter, I was an HR business partner, and I was also in training and development. I took a break, 15 years. I raised 2 sons. They turned out really well, so I'm proud of that. And then I went to work for an executive search firm, and that is where this second chapter has really unfolded. I have led executive searches, CEO, COO, heads of HR, etc., and I had the front view, mirror view of how candidates succeed in an interview process and where they fall down and where they trip up. And it's often rambling and not able to tell their stories in a succinct way, which led me to studying what it takes to make an effective career transition. I read 20 books. I listened to 120 podcasts. I synthesized all that. And I have been coaching people for the past upwards of 7 years, which culminated into what we may be talking about, which is my career velocity system. It's a 9-step model that helps mature job seekers get through the whole process and communicate their stories better.
Yeah. And that is such a hard one. That is really such a tough one, I think, for most people. I mean, you're not, you don't do, most people don't do this for a living. So trying to communicate what they do is tough. It really is tough. So that was one of my first questions. You've sat on both the hiring and the hiring side, and you've coached candidates. And so I was going to ask you, but I think you kind of told me, but I was going to say, what do finalists consistently get wrong in those last mile interviews, and what actually helps move the needle?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question. I've not been asked that before. So I'm going to break it into 2 parts. On the front end, people don't make it into the finals at all because they're not qualified or they can't crisply tell their stories. And at the senior level, there's that combination of presence. You and I may know it as executive presence, professional presence, and the ability to quickly, succinctly communicate the value that they bring. That is vital. And if you're vying for a leadership level role, I mean, we're not playing at this point. You've got to get there and get there quickly. I have been unable to pass people along after that first conversation. I can't put them in front of a board if they can't get there quickly. It shows that I can't assess a person's communication skills. Now, let's flip over to the finalists. I have been in the room watching finalist presentations. So I'm shepherding them through that process, giving them advice and counsel before they step in front of the board and the leadership team. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just, there to help.
Wait, now is this before or is this now?
This is not now.
So this was before you even, okay.
So when I have been an executive search consultant, my job is not to coach candidates, because executive search consultants, their job is to shepherd the whole process. They're not propping people up. Now, you may have executive search recruiters who are helpful, but it's not their job to make you win that job. You got to win the job. So I've been in the room with those finalists for CEO jobs in front of the board and the leadership team. And the people that don't win the job, one, may lack humility when they're not reading the room, and they're not communicating in a way that is drawing them into those people. So that's one thing. That's huge. Now,
you mean they're just kind of forging through with what they want to tell you, but they're not listening. Okay.
Yes, and there's a certain level of presence. Let's say, not snarkiness. I'm trying to think of I know it all. I know more than all of you, and yet these people are the ones serving an organization. So I have seen the lack of humility be an issue, but I've also seen lack of confidence in those final stages. So it's almost the opposite of lack of humility. It's tripping and stumbling in that lack of like crisply looking like you're going to be the next CEO of this huge organization. That's massive.
Yeah.
So those are the two things I would say.
And that must be, I mean, and that I think, okay, I think some people, yes, naturally have that skill, but I think everybody else has to learn it. I think it's a learned thing for the majority of people out there. They may be great at leading, great at strategy, great at vision, but just have a really hard time communicating that. So I can see that. I can see why people would stumble through that. So, okay. So you talk a lot. Well, okay. No, let's talk about your, because you mentioned it and now I want to dive into it. Give us the 60-second tour or more, because I would love to hear a lot about it, of career velocity, your career velocity system. I mean, the core pillars, and where do you think most executives stall out?
That is easy. And I'll do it in a quick highlights reel.
Yeah, actually, I don't need 60 seconds. You can go into it because I think people need to hear this. Yeah.
Right. So there are 3 phases of career velocity. So phase 1, which is 5 steps, is developing your unique value proposition. I call it the UVP.
Yep.
So there are 5 steps with frameworks inside of each of the steps. So the first is coming up with the storytelling around your unique strengths. So Strengths Finder are your natural talents. It's not a personality assessment. That tells me how you show up and uniquely operate in the world. What are your values? How will you tie your values to what you say about yourself? What skills motivate you and what is your personality? I'm developing with my clients the language around that. People can do it for themselves using my book as well, because I give all the dirt in the book with all my frameworks, except for maybe one. I held it back. We can talk about that later. Step 2, what is your leadership approach? If you can't describe how you lead people and teams, that has to show up in your resume, bullets. It's got to show up in your about summary, and it has to show up in your storytelling. 3 is your career story. So you're unwinding your story, and then you're discussing the themes and patterns of your career. So you can say, I'm usually tapped on the shoulder, or I'm promoted, or I step into really sticky situations, or I'm the mergers and acquisitions person. What is the thing that you can kind of say about yourself that helps you start to stand apart as a candidate? Step 4 of the unique value proposition is creating your career data vault. That is going back and collecting all the wins so you have a repository in one spot forever.
Smart. Yes.
It's better than just updating a resume.
Smart. Yeah.
Now you meet with someone like you, a resume writer, and you have it.
Yes.
You should be continually adding to it after every quarterly, review.
Yeah. Add your wins. Add your wins. Add everything. Yes.
So step 5 of the UVP, phase 1, is bringing it all together. And I have a method. It's called the 3/3. It's very simple, but it's not easy to do, which is laying out your storytelling kind of in bullet point form so that you have a mental model of how you're going to answer this question. So tell me about yourself. This is so critical. And a lot of people confuse tell me about yourself with an elevator pitch or an elevator speech.
Yeah.
I just wrote a Forbes article. It's called Your Elevator Pitch is Costing You Opportunities. And here's why. The question, tell me about yourself, is the highlights reel. It's not a marketing branding statement.
Yeah.
It is not some kind of like sales pitch.
Yeah.
This is what I'm known for. Yep. This is how I can help you. And it's showing up with the confidence to say it. So that's phase 1 of career velocity. Phase 2, 3 steps. Marketing. So marketing is resume development, LinkedIn profile development. Super critical, necessary evil.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Step 7, interview prep. And I created something called the Rare Candidate Framework, which helps people create their repository of stories. Step 8 is job search strategy. I have tons of information on that. And step 9 is thought leadership, because you and I work with a lot of leaders and they feel stuck. Nobody's calling them. Yeah. How do we get calls? We need to be seen and heard and known for our authority. So that is career velocity in a nutshell.
I love it. I love it. And I've known about your Career Velocity program for years. I remember you and I talking about it probably 3 years ago, 2, 3 years ago. To me, it's the steps are really a game changer between, kind of hoping and praying you get a job and being super prepared and ready to go. It's just, it's night and day. And okay, so let's talk about, so you are UMAP certified. So how do you translate self-awareness into marketable positioning that recruiters actually care about?
Mm-hmm. So what I find game changing is once we go through that UMAP process and we're uncovering people's uniqueness.
Yeah.
And what I love about StrengthsFinder in particular, and that is used within the UMAP assessment, there's 4 assessments in one. What I love about StrengthsFinder is it's our natural talents. And we're 1 in 33 million with our combination of strengths because Gallup administers that assessment.
Yeah.
And so it gives us kind of a sense of like, oh, okay, this is why I'm unique and special. But the game changer is actually embracing that. A lot of leaders I work with will say, yeah, I already knew this about myself, or why is that special?
Right.
It's infusing how you apply your talents to get results. So you're not showing up and saying, I'm an activator, I'm an achiever. That doesn't go anywhere. What you need to do is show how you activate when you do stuff or how you achieve something when you do something.
Yeah.
And that is the game changer.
Right.
That's
How you do these
self-awareness.
things. Yeah. Instead of just saying it, how you actually do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And again, is like we were saying earlier, self-awareness, and knowing how to use that skill set or those, attributes to your advantage can be tricky. So, storytelling is one of your themes. So what's the difference between a strong executive narrative and a rambling career memoir? We both see a lot of those. And how do you keep it concise? I mean, I know what we do. I want to know what you do. So I love storytelling. I mean, to me, it's just the difference between, somebody that you want to call in to the interview and somebody that you're like, pass. I mean, really, telling that story is amazing. So yeah, what's the difference between a good executive narrative and a career memoir?
The first thing I would have your audience know is you need to position your stories with context and relevancy. You can tell all the stories in the world, but if you're telling the wrong story and you're telling that wrong story too long, you're burning daylight and people's brains are turning off in a nanosecond.
Yeah.
So you need to bring the most relevant and contextual stories forward.
Yeah.
How, Erin? If you haven't started with your unique value proposition, laid out your career story, and you know which ones are the most relevant because of your research that you've done,
yeah,
it is very difficult to get traction. I have a story for you, very brief. I'm working with a couple of people who were laid off from a big global company who were with that company for 20, 25 years. Moved around multiple times. Like every 2 years, a project would get defunded. They'd move to something else. Over time, you look at all of their different job titles. It might be technical program manager, or it might be product manager. All these different things that are kind of same church, different pew, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
So when they go to market and they're trying to get referrals and they're trying to get, in front of hiring managers, what was happening is they were saying, I can do it all. I can do these 3 different things. The people they were trying to get the referrals from couldn't place what they should talk about. They couldn't refer them. And so they were stalling out. And unless and until you can narrow and be more specific so that people can help you, that is what's going to continually happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes 100% sense. I mean, you've got to be able to kind of narrow it down and spoon feed it to them, give them exactly what they're looking for. Instead of all these things, all the things that you can do. Yeah. Okay. So hiring question for you. When a board, let's say, is hiring under a time pressure, what signals of executive presence cut through the noise the fastest? I mean, anything that has immediate will raise red flags, or what when they're under that pressure, what are they looking for right
No,
now?
I think
Yeah.
that the modern leader of today has a number of things going for them. One is self-awareness, and another is excellent listening skills and the ability to read the room and read different decision makers and their reactions, and also tuning into what different decision makers care about. You
Yeah.
have a body of a board, but you have all these people sitting there as individuals with their own biases and their own interests for being there. And it's especially, it can be tricky, especially with a board of directors for a nonprofit, because a lot of times those people are there because of the mission, their own
Yeah.
personal, what they care about. And so the leaders winning those roles have a hyper awareness about the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
Again, go out of salesy mode. Oh, I gotta go in and sell myself and like ram down all my
Yeah. Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
their throats. Instead, bring them into a conversation and say, what do you need? I think those are the leaders of the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's very, very important. And I'm just going to go through, 'cause, like I told you, I have a lot of questions because I was so excited to talk to you. So I'm going to just kind of go through them.
Let's go.
Because I think that these are the questions that the audience wants to hear as well. So, okay. Um, okay. What are the top outdated job search myths that you still hear from senior candidates? And what's the modern replacement for each? I mean, what are you
Yeah.
still hearing?
What am I still hearing? There's so much, Erin. You and I probably hear all the same things. Even today, I got an email from a job seeker that's been looking for over 6 months. And the question
Ugh,
was, could you give me a couple of tips to improve my resume? That question already tells me that they're not taking a larger strategic approach. What's outdated? For those, so I'm in my mid 50s. I started my first job search in 1992 when I came out of college. If we're still operating like 1992, spray and pray, apply on job boards,
right. Ugh,
we're not going to cut through the noise. And here's why.
yeah.
Really, only 1 to 2% of the time are we getting a call back, maybe from
Yeah.
applying online.
Yeah.
Why? AI and the massive amount of people who are in the workforce or who are not in the workforce looking for jobs are clogging the applicant tracking systems.
For sure. Oh,
So the other outdated advice, I'm going to go a little off road here, is
yeah.
what people hear is, oh, brush up your resume and network. Brush up, oh, you got laid off. If you don't know what your stories are, if you don't know what your unique value proposition is,
Yes.
and if you don't know what your asks are when you network, your search is going to take longer. Full
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm
I
passionate about that? Like
no,
please
I know, and I
hear me,
totally
people.
agree. Huh?
Yeah, I'm like, please listen to this.
Honestly, and when I look at our own clients, the ones that come to us and they're like, I want all the things. I want help with the job search. I want help with my story. I want help with my LinkedIn, perception, how people,
Yeah,
they're the ones that get the job so much quicker because they're invested in the whole picture instead of just
right.
the resume, and in getting their story right and their unique value proposition. And,
Mhm.
and so I know and
Yeah,
those are the people that get the job so fast. I mean,
exactly. When people reach out to me and they ask me, will you work on my resume or will you do this? I'm like, that is step 6
yeah,
of career velocity. I
yeah.
don't do that. I refer people out to
Hmm.
my friends like you and say,
Hmm.
here are some great resume writers who can,
Hmm.
who can help you in this regard. But I don't start at step 6. I don't believe
Right,
it. I
right,
just
right.
I can't. It goes against the grain because I've seen too many leaders blow it because they jump to step 6. That's how I got here.
Yes, yes. Oof. I know.
I know.
I
Preaching.
know, and I know. I've been, I know I've been in this field forever too, and that it really has to be the number one thing. Well, we always say like, what is it that you really want to do? Do you want to continue to do this? We start with that because a lot of times clients are like, I mean, actually, no, but I'm just kind of going into it because I've been doing this. But actually, and then, that's a whole light bulb right there. So,
It really
um,
is. And then making a career pivot, Erin, is a whole nother ball of wax.
it
I was
is.
talking to a group of job seekers yesterday about making a pivot, and you really have to align your stories in a way that the receivers are going to see you within the context of their organization. Going from
Yes.
corporate to nonprofit, challenging. Profit to nonprofit, challenging.
Hmm.
Not, did I
Hmm.
say that backwards? Anyway, going either direction.
Right. Right. And just and aligning your okay, here's another biggie. I mean, kind of going off topic a little bit, but making sure that your story and your resume and your LinkedIn profile all align. You can't have a LinkedIn profile with old stuff on it, if it doesn't align with your goals today and what you want to do. So, yeah, I know.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
one thing that I feel like could be cutting edge for us to just mention
Yeah.
is LinkedIn has changed so much this year. It's no
So much.
longer based on SEO, keyword search algorithm. We are now needing to write our profiles in context of what we're known for and in conjunction with the ideal job descriptions. You need to think like the way you would search in AI,
Hmm.
in order to match up to what other people are seeking. And if you're
Yeah.
not doing this or you have an anemic profile with very little on there, you are not
Yes.
even in the competition.
No. I know. That's what I always say. Content is king on LinkedIn. So speaking of LinkedIn, if you could
Mhm.
change, let's say, if you could only change 3 elements on an executive profile this week to increase inbound interest for one of your clients, which 3 would they be and why?
Hmm. Oh gosh, Erin,
I
only
know, I know, I know, I know. Okay, so you can do
you're
5, 3 to
killing me,
5.
Smalls.
Okay, 3 to
Okay.
5. That'll
Okay.
open it up a little
No,
more.
I can't do three. No, no, no.
Okay, do 5.
Gosh dang it. Okay, I'm gonna do this. The first thing I would do is take care of the big three. Do not have a gray LinkedIn banner. Make
Oh,
sure your profile photo looks like what you look like today. Use a
today.
smartphone and get a
Yes,
nice photo and put it up there. You do not have to pay for it. And your headline must say what you do and what you're aiming for, not something silly like unicorn chaser.
I was just gonna say, or like
Oh,
career
no,
ninja or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
there are no drop down menus with
Right.
Recruiter Ninja. That's not happening.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Two, you need to have you maximize your 2,600 characters in your
Yes.
LinkedIn about summary,
Yes.
describing in
Use
context what
it.
you do,
Mhm.
aligned with the ideal job descriptions. And
Today, not
three,
what you did before. Align it
no, what
with
are you trying
today's.
to do?
Yeah.
And don't be cute about it. You listen to like salesy marketing experts and they're like, "Oh, tell a story and be all like whatever." You need to grab attention in the first line, 3 lines before they click see more. And if you're not saying, "I do this," the recruiter might keep going, okay?
Mhm.
So then the
Mhm.
third cluster is your work history. Your most recent couple of jobs really should be fully flushed out and tell the story about
Totally.
the
Yes.
value that and within context of what you brought,
Yes.
same as like the about summary. But can I go off road with a fourth thing, please?
Yeah, please.
This is a very overlooked thing because we could talk about LinkedIn all day, you and me.
Right.
Recommendations.
Mhm.
If you are an exceptional leader, you will be giving recommendations to people who have worked for you, with you, who you've worked for, and possibly people outside of the company, partners, customers, etc. And you will be gathering them
Mhm.
because people like me who have done executive search, I'm actually going to look. I want to know if you gave recommendations and I'm going to look and see what people say about you. And
Yeah.
if you think it's all gamed out, it's all a ruse, think again because we can tell when someone is being authentic in those recommendations. Okay, there
Okay.
you go.
And I love that. And I'm with you. You and I could talk about LinkedIn all day. Could be an all day seminar. But there's one thing when you were saying how recruiters and people are looking at that. Another thing that I have to add is watch your comments, because recruiters, anybody, employers, companies can see what you're commenting on. So if you're bashing a political party, or you are, talking about like religion, all the no-nos, you have to understand that people can read your comments. It pops up in your activity section. So, watch what you say. And this is just think that a prospective company is just looking over your shoulder, reading what you're writing.
I know, it's the same thing we told our kids when they're in junior high. If you don't want your grandma to see it, I mean, come on. I couldn't even add anything better.
I don't think that people understand that other people can read your comments. And it's not like, oh, I have to be on that page to read it. No, it comes up in your activity.
So that again is poor EQ, emotional quotient, poor executive presence. It's not reading the professional audience. And by the way, if you don't want to be known for your political affiliations, etc., don't consume that information on LinkedIn. Steer clear and focus your comments on posts that relate to what you do. I mean,
yes. And you can retrain the algorithms. If you have been looking at all that political stuff, stop looking at it and retrain it, because the less you look at it, the less it'll pull up. It'll pop up for you. So I know. Oof. Okay. So let's see. I've got a couple other. I'm trying to go through them based on what we've already talked about. How do you define and track momentum in a search so that leaders kind of know when they're making progress or not within 2 to 3 weeks? Yeah. How would you define and track momentum?
I'm going to go with the one thing. How many conversations do you have on your calendar? If I get on week after week and with my coaching clients, because I do long engagements, that's what people hire me to do, because it takes leaders so much longer to land. Sometimes it could be, even when you start with me and you happen to have an interview in play, you're lucky to have an offer in 4 months. Yeah. So if I get on week after week and people have told me, I didn't do any outreach, I didn't have any coffee dates, I didn't have any in-person meetings, they're not going to make traction very fast. I'm working with an amazing person right now. VP was a part of his shutdown of his whole group, and he retained all but 2 people all the way to the shutdown. This leader, I've worked with him a couple times through his transitions, super awesome leader. And he is getting conversations, and he's doing cold outreach and getting referred. And he has to. Do you want to know why? He is not going to get picked up through an ATS most likely, because he's similar in age to you and me. He doesn't have a college degree. This is a senior technology leader who grew up building computers in his garage.
Right.
As we know people, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And when he started working with me 5 years ago, when he got into this role and then promoted into a VP job, he knows he's probably not going to get picked up. Why? If those recruiters or hiring managers, it's really the hiring manager who says, I have to have a degree. And then that starts to put you in the bucket of doesn't have a degree, we're not even going to look at him. He's out. He was a VP of a huge operation. He's amazing. So what is he doing? Conversations. He's going to win a job over the people who have a degree. I promise you.
I love that. I talk to people about that as well, who have, lower self-esteem. Even these executives who have these powerful roles, and they're worried because, they're in their 50s and they started way back when, they were kind of grandfathered in and built their way up, and now they're worried about their degree. I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your book. Gina wrote a book. I don't know if it's the right way this way. I showed Summer and she said it was the right way. Qualified isn't enough. Is it showing the right way? I don't know. She wrote a book, a whole book. I said, it's not even a little book. It's a meaty book.
It's legitness.
It is legitness. It's qualified isn't enough. Develop your story, land the interview, win the job. So let's talk about your book. So who did you write this for precisely?
You know, a lot of my storytelling are about leaders, senior leaders, executives. However, I've worked with people in their mid-30s too, and some of their stories are actually showing up in that book. I wrote this for people who know that there is a better way than applying online. And they know that they must be strategic, and they're willing to do the work to set the foundation that will last them their entire career. And when people rehire me, like I was just saying about this VP, they come back for the interview prep. They don't come back for like, I don't know my story.
Yeah.
And fine tuning a resume, of course.
Yeah.
You know, all of that stuff, because that's part of storytelling. But I will say, and you and I have kids similar in age. I have a 23-year-old, 25-year-old right now. My 23-year-old, Oregon State graduate, mechanical engineering degree, 2 6-month internships. So he's a year of experience. He is reading the book. Their friends have bought the book. They are working through the book as well.
Love it.
Developing
Love
their
it.
UVP.
Love it. Yeah. So it's not just one age range or one type of, it really is. I mean, it's for everyone. This works for every age, every, industry, any job seeker, I think.
All the stuff.
So the book promises access to the hidden job market. So what's like one field tested play from the book that listeners can run this week?
Oh my goodness. So
just one.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about the hidden job market is the hidden job market could be sitting actually inside the company you already work in.
Yes.
But when you crack open conversations, whether you're a job seeker without a job or you're within the company, my favorite stories are finding and pitching your own job description.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of people that I've worked with that were more mid-career. They're kind of like late 30s, like not even mid yet. And there was a reorganization. And when I was working with them, they saw opportunities and then went in and we created job descriptions for them. And they went in and pitched it. And then they had the job wrapped around them. That, my friend, is the hidden job market because it didn't go to market.
Yes. See, I love it. And it's stuff like that.
Find and pitch. It's so awesome.
That's what I love. About, I mean, there are these simple things. It doesn't have to be something outside of your reach. It's like literally in your own company. So, many guides teach more applications, but yours leans towards strategy. Yours is all about strategy. What common activities should executives stop doing after reading this?
What should they stop doing?
And what do they replace it with? I mean, I would say, the spray and pray, job boards. I mean, I don't, that never works. But
I would say, what should they stop doing? They should stop being invisible.
Yeah, that's a good one. Get out there. Get out there.
Nobody's coming to save you. No one is plucking you out of obscurity into your next job. That is not happening anymore. You need to make yourself known.
Yeah. Okay. And another question. If a listener pairs the book with your career velocity coaching, how should they sequence the work? The book first, the coaching first, or in parallel?
That's awesome. I have a person that started with me this week, and I'm sending him a whole packet of 4 books. They get 4 books, and one is my book. And I will be doling out the assignments chapter by chapter, but then with all my private coaching, I do all of their synthesis writing. I'm their co-collaborator on the resume. So it can be done multiple ways. DIYers, do-it-yourselfers, could read the book and possibly get the traction they need. Why? It's not tips, Erin. It's not tips. Right. It's frameworks. And it's for people who are willing to do the work. The people who hire me know that it's hard. They can't read the label when they're inside of the jar, and they want me to be the jar label reader, which I do well. That's kind of my jam.
I love it. And I love that visual you just gave about the jar and the label, because that really makes perfect sense.
I would put it in my headline, but nobody is using a drop-down menu for jar label reader.
That's true. That's true. You don't want to put that in there. Well, this has been so enlightening and wonderful, and I feel like we could talk about a whole bunch more.
Okay.
So, where can people find you, Gina? I know Gina Riley Consulting and LinkedIn.
Those are the 2 main places. I hang out on LinkedIn way too much, like all day, every day. So that's where I'm at. I publish a newsletter there called Career Velocity, so people can subscribe to that. And I am all over the place. You can find me on, podcasts and YouTube, and I present to the Intel Alumni Network once a month. There are 12 sessions.
Girl, you are everywhere. You are visible. You are
literally
walking the walk. Or
it's an attraction strategy, right?
Yeah, it is. And where can they find your book? Anywhere? Or Amazon?
Anywhere that online books can be purchased for the most part. Amazon is, the granddaddy. And if you're reading the book and you want to do a review, please do, because I'm just a solopreneur who invested in myself to create this book for you.
I know. And I'm impressed. When you said you were writing a book, I didn't think it was a book like this. Very impressive.
It was serious, and it was a massive investment. I partnered with Advantage Forbes Books to do it. It cost me a lot of money, and I spent 2024 doing that while I made a house move too. So,
oh my gosh, I know you had a crazy year.
Yeah,
you had a crazy year, but it is paying off. And 2025 has been, much better. It's your success year.
Yay.
Okay, one last thing that we ask all of our guests. What's one thing that people don't know about you? Maybe a hobby or a passion? Tell us.
I have come prepared. I'm going to tell you one thing I have never said when asked this question.
Okay. What?
I collect perfume.
Really?
I do. And a couple of years ago, there's actually like National Perfume Day or something. I forget when it is.
You put all of them on you?
And I have them on a turnstile in my bathroom, and they're all and it's all stuff I really love, and I rotate seasonally. And I was going to do a post a couple of years ago, and on that specific day, I launched a CEO search, so I couldn't do the post, and I still have not gone back to do that post, but I couldn't supersede the CEO launch, because what are you going to do? Hey, board of directors, we're going to launch it tomorrow, because I have to do
I got this perfume thing going on? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
right.
Two, I make a mean old-fashioned and margarita. Really good.
Yum.
Fresh margarita. And I am a huge, geeky Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I have also not told people that. And
Show
I'm
us.
even wearing my Star-Lord t-shirt that my boys bought me. I know.
I love that. Oh my
Guardians
gosh.
of
They
the
bought you
Galaxy.
a Star-Lord shirt. I love it. I love that.
We almost named our cat Star-Lord, but he's kind of a wuss, so we named him
Right, so
Benny.
you couldn't give him that name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I love Guardians of the Galaxy too. In fact, one of my kids and I, we just watched the second one. Huh?
The albums are so awesome. It's on my
I know.
Spotify
The music
playlist.
is amazing. It really is. Wow. Okay. So next time I come over, I'm going to get a margarita and we're going to have our Guardians of the Galaxy. Next time I come over, I come over every day since you live across the whole country. One of these days. Days.
We'll get out my perfume. We'll run through that gambit.
Perfume, margaritas, and we'll watch the whole.
Did I surprise you?
You did. I am shocked. Yes, you did. I love your shirt. I'm glad you wore it today.
I was going to go to the gym, so I thought, okay, I'm going to put something colorful on, and then I'll go to the gym.
Well, it looks good with the orange, though. It looks good with the orange. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. I hope everybody goes to get this because it is so useful. It's not just a lot of fluff. It's like a lot of, these are the things that you need to do to find success. And it's a perfect framework.
You need to fix your car. You have to read the car manual and actually do the work.
Yes.
Right? Or you can pay a mechanic. And that's what this is like. And but I think the stories make it fun because they're all real stories in there.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Gina. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
I will see you online.
Okay. See you on the flip side.
All right. Thanks again for listening to the Office Latte podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Executive Resumes, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Office Latte Podcast. If you have any career questions or conversations you want us to talk about, send them to officelattepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer them in an upcoming show. Have a great week and stay caffeinated.